Hi, Coach. How are
Recording
you?
in progress.
Good.
All right. Are you ready to get started either with an opening statement or we can just kick it off with questions?
Yeah, opening statement. Just great to be in another battle all the way to the end, all the way to overtime. A place that we've grown familiar with, and to be able to finish it this time with the win was great. Just a full team win. We had to cover kicks, we had to play defense, we had to play offense one more time, and we were able to get it done. So I was really thrilled about that.
Dave, have you ever seen Brad run that? I know he's your workout partner, but have you ever seen him run that fast down the field?
Well, especially after he's been training for a half marathon. So, he had a nice, good run the day before. So he was able to probably hit his top speed of the season on that one. We'll check his GPS.
All right, we can start with questions. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get started. Mike, go ahead, then followed by Darren.
Dave, what's the latest on the center position? How's Cade doing? And what did you take away from Brady's performance?
Cade's doing a lot better. First of all, that was a game morning deal that crept up on us. Brady, another great job of stepping in. This time in last minute form to hop in there to be able to get us ID'd properly in the run game, to face a really challenging pressure package that the Cardinals had, and to get us ID'd properly and all that. So unbelievable job by Brady.
Dave, I was just going to ask, with this being Christmas, mechanically speaking, what's changing up in terms of the practice week and stuff like that, trying to keep guys focused when there's other stuff happening?
Yeah, so we'll get right to our Wednesday mode tomorrow, and then we will, which will be Tuesday, and then Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day, the players will have their normal Players' Day off, so they'll be able to spend some time with family. Whether it's in person or calling people, to just be able to be available on Christmas Day, and then we'll hop right back to it on Thursday and get right back on rhythm of our Thursday routine. Friday and everything from there will be normal.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah,
Mike,
Dave,
go ahead.
I'll get back in here. As far as the tight end position, Tommy made some big plays yesterday. JT's been back for a few weeks, but we really haven't seen him get targeted. Where are you at with that tight end position moving forward? And where has Tommy kind of improved as a receiver since he's come back?
Yeah, the guys have done a great job, with Tommy, with JT, and also Felipe just being ready to go when we need him. And then, it's just a matter of the opportunities, the way they fell, and Tommy has made the most of it. So I'm really proud of the way that he's worked his way back, from the injuries, and really given us somebody, that we can rely on in the pass game. And it's not been by design. The ball hasn't found JT. It's just kind of the rhythm and flow of when things have gone out there, where the ball has gone. But JT's been doing a really good job too, busting his butt, and sometimes that's just the way it goes. So yeah, we got to do a better job of trying to find a way to get JT involved.
All right, we'll go to Joe, followed by Alex.
Hey, Dave, you had a transaction already today. What went into moving on from Jonathan Harris?
Yeah, a bunch of different decisions. Jonathan was the guy that we released, to make room for potentially bringing some other guys in, see if we can get some linebacker help.
You got to get linebacker help outside, Dave?
Interior. We played the last game with three inside linebackers.
No, I mean from outside the building.
Yeah, we're looking around to see if we can bring somebody in to help us.
And last thing on that, did you take another injury there that's making you look around again?
We did not.
Okay.
Hey Dave, apologize if you've already been asked this. I was curious if you could give us a snapshot of the running back room right now. Is Miles Sanders, do do you still are you still hopeful that Miles Sanders will make his return this season? And then also, can you speak on Raheem Blackshear getting his first carry of the season this year? Thanks.
Yep, we're just working through all that today. There's some critical decisions we have to make, between Mike Boone, who we used his last practice squad call-up for this past week. So we got to make a bunch of those, important decisions going into this week to play the Bucs, because we're gonna try to run the ball and do that. So we got to make sure that we have guys available for that. And then I was glad to see Raheem get in there. He ran hard, made the most of his couple opportunities that he had, and read the runs properly. Finished with his legs driving, so it was really good, really cool to see him in there.
And Dave, one quick follow-up about Miles specifically. At what point do you have to make a final decision on him, do you think?
I don't know about that. I just take it.
Hey, Coach, David Newton here. Wanted to ask you, there was a play yesterday where Bryce was in the pocket. I looked like he blitzed up the middle of number 7, and Bryce just got flattened. What did you see in that play and the way he handled that maybe you hadn't seen before? It kind of defines his growth as a quarterback.
It's kind of the same thing. He's shown courage in the pocket, and he had an open receiver. We had an unblocked player right up the middle, and he was able to plant his back foot and throw an accurate ball to Tommy in that situation. We got a first down out of it. And so I was really proud of just the way that he was able to just play in rhythm and get it to the first guy, in a timely fashion, especially because the guy was hot right up the middle right now.
Yeah. And I wonder, how much have you adjusted your play call in this season to try to play to the strengths as he's grown?
Yeah, that's always the goal, regardless of whichever quarterback goes in there, you fine tune things, you talk through it. We watch film and kind of see where do we play the most fast and confident, and then just try to continue to build those types of concepts, that really fit Bryce and fit our group.
Is there one thing specific I know without giving away game plan stuff, that you can talk about that you've switched up from what you maybe did early in the year or what they did last year with him?
No, there's a bunch in a lot of different spots. I mean, if you can imagine, over the course of, really, I would say over the course of the last, 10 years is, I've been a part of, this system and this offense formulating different concepts. We have so many things at our disposal, but at the same time, it's about finding what makes us most comfortable, where we can play our fastest, and that's kind of where we've arrived, at this point in the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Joe?
Dave, what's the update on Xavier if you haven't already addressed it?
He's progressing really well. We're taking it day to day with him. He was going through a return to play protocol through the weekend to try to make sure we got on top of his availability for this week. But we like the strides that he's taking, and he's going to have to make pretty significant improvement in the next 2 days as we continue to evaluate him. But we definitely want to get him back out there.
So you said it would take significant improvement to have him ready for Sunday.
Yeah, just looking for that. Like he's got these milestones he has to reach daily, and he's hitting them so far. So that gives us hope that we can get him back out there this week.
Hey, and this is just kind of a one-play snapshot, but the sack in overtime of Kyler, it was one of those plays where you kind of pick your poison. I mean, EJ brought an extra guy, but what did you see there out of Wanham? It looked like he had a nice rush, and then Josie comes free late up the middle.
Just like you said it, Joe, DJ got a good jump on the snap count, had a really nice speed rush up the field right now, beat the tackle, turned the corner, and really was in position to try to get, Kyler down, and Kyler had to step up, and so I thought that it was just a great effort in a critical situation. And, at the end of the game where the work that you put in, throughout the season, but also throughout the week, to be able to be that fresh and that explosive in that situation and just executing the plan was what I loved about it. Just goes back to talking about the finish, being able for guys to be able to play and do right, rush in your pass lanes, and execute all the way to the finish was great.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to Mike, followed by Alex.
Dave, the team website showed after the game your kind of celebration in the locker room, and you said this is Panthers football. And we've probably asked you this a lot about culture, and you like staying consistent. But there's a difference between believing and proving. And I'm just curious, how do you guys handle the successful plays in the building as opposed to maybe games that have a lot of negatives? Like, is there a way that you kind of differentiate, or the way you highlight, or the way you maybe have positive or negative reinforcement? How do you guys handle that internally?
Well, I mean, the beautiful part about our game is it's not perfect. It's an imperfect game. With execution, you also know that there's 11 guys on the other side trying to make sure you don't, and they're striving for the same things, but it all starts with the ball. It all starts with no turnovers and coming up with two. I know one of them was an exchange, but it requires effort to beat the guy to the ball, and Jonathan Harris, great effort to get to the ball and secure it for us, and the late interception by Damani, making the catch, getting his feet in bounds. So those big principles are the things we point to, like, this is what it feels like finishing the game running the ball, where they started to play us tighter in our passes towards the end of the game, but it was the run game that allowed us to move down the field, quickly in that situation because of the physicality and the finish mindset. Like, we're going to continue to do this as long as there's time on the clock. So, but the way we do it is culture is what you celebrate. And so we celebrate the successes. We celebrate guys doing right. We celebrate them showing great effort, great enthusiasm, great toughness, smart football plays, and great finishes. And we celebrate those things and say, guys, this is what we're looking for out of our team. This is our style of football, and trying to show them examples of that. And then we handle all the things. We handle all the stuff, the issues that come up, the mistakes and all those things. We handle it with accountability from a coaching staff standpoint to the players. We just talk about it, and it just becomes a normal part of what we do. It's like, here it is. Here's our process. We tell the truth of what happened. We attack it during the week. We're going to emphasize it. We're going to challenge you guys with these different looks on both sides to correct those things, so that it just becomes a normal part of what we're doing. And that's kind of how we go about it, Mike.
Hey, Dave. Apologies again if you've been asked this, but on the hip drop tackle in the first half, upon watching it on film, I know you didn't get it. We asked you yesterday. You needed to watch it again. You said, what did you see in the film, and was that the correct call?
What I saw in the film was I saw Kobe. He grabbed James Conner around the waist, and then it was a beautiful wrap tackle. His leg slid down on the ground, and he brought him down. So there wasn't a high grab tackle, unload my weight to the lower extremities of the running back. I thought it was a clean open field tackle for a 1-yard gain. We should have been sitting at 2nd and 9 right there in that situation.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go to Christian, followed by Sheena.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, a couple games left, but when do you kind of peek your head into the bowl games and the scouting room to look to the future? Is that something you and Dan have even talked about yet, or are we just still focused on the last two?
Scouts are all over it. Dan's all over it with his group. The staff and I were all over trying to play the Bucks in Tampa. That's our focus. We got enough of our things that we got to clean up, from a film standpoint from the last game, locking back into a really good opponent. So that's where my focus is. My focus is on the guys that are here right now, giving them everything we have to try to help them to be successful on Sunday with these opportunities that different players are getting in this situation.
Do I just go?
Yeah, Sheena, you can go ahead.
Coach, I know we talked a lot about, everyone's talked a lot about Bryce Young and how he's kind of evolved throughout the season. But can you talk a little bit about how you have evolved as the play caller, as you kind of learn the strengths of the players that you do have with injuries and things like that?
Yeah, that's my whole goal. My whole goal is to try to find the run game that works for us, starting with Chuba, starting with the big guys up front, our tight ends, and the receivers involved in that as well. So what do we do best? How can we put our guys in position to be successful in the pass game? It's the same thing. When does Bryce look confident? When is he putting that plant foot in the ground and letting the ball rip? What are those concepts? Let's build them a few different ways. And then just finding those routes for our guys, the receivers, the tight ends, the backs on the checkdowns, different ways where they show, hey, when you put him in this split or when he has this release and he can run this stem at the top, he looks really good there. And that's really that's the exciting part for Brad and I and for the offensive staff to really come together and say what works for us. Okay, yeah, that's a great concept. Is that us? Are we going to be able to execute that on Sundays? And that's really been the joy of working through this, and watching Bryce and his group, continue to emerge with different concepts we can count on.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Any other questions for Coach? Going once?
Hey, Coach, this is Jeff Hawkins. How you doing? Just real quick, speaking of play calling, I was wondering if you had a thought on a clip of the Lions play yesterday where the quarterback and the running back duped falling down, and then he ended up throwing an open touchdown pass.
I thought it was incredible. I thought the scheme would have worked without it. And I thought the added element of a stumbled handoff just added a little flair to it. This is a really good offense, the Detroit Lions, and I'm sure they don't get bored with success. They've been doing a fantastic job, but to add little wrinkles like that to challenge the defenders and maybe just grab someone's attention a little bit more, I just thought it was a cool play executed by both guys.
As a play caller, did you learn anything from it? Are you going to take anything from it? Thanks a lot. Good luck next week.
Always trying to learn, always taking notes and seeing if there's something we can incorporate.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Have a great one.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.